Okay everybody, in this video we're going to demonstrate conditioning your dog over here to a collar or leash. So you may have a dog that is a little nervous about leashes, hand movements, things like that going over their head. For whatever reason they're not comfortable with you putting on a leash. So these are just some steps that I'm going to go through with you to help you condition your dog to being okay and calm about putting on a leash or collar or whatever it is. And you're going to need food, so you're either going to need some treats or just their daily kibble, which is preferred. Always work with their daily food because this is something you're going to have to do and spend some time with. It's going to require a lot of patience. So if you just work with their meals, it's the best way to go about it. Because let's say you want to spend 15-20 minutes working with your dog, and you're going to want to do this for several days until they really feel comfortable with this, especially if the dog is really fearful of it. They're not just going to be perfect right away. It's going to take time. So slowly what you're going to do is the first step, there's going to be a few steps to this. The first step, all you're going to do is you're going to show them the leash. Yes, good girl. So, and you're going to use markers, yes and good, okay? If you have a really fearful dog, I should say first, that has the potential to bite, which a lot of fearful dogs do, I would noose the dog when you can safely, and that's just going to be getting a big loop and just working your way till you can safely. You might need a bigger leash to do it, and just doing it that way. That way at least you have some security. You're kind of forcing it on, you're not really doing it voluntarily, and it'll probably take you a while just to do that, depending on how bad the dog is. But this way you can hold on to this in case you need, if the dog has the potential to bite, okay? Or another thing you would do is muzzle condition the dog to be comfortable wearing a muzzle. That might be something you do first, okay? Or really, it all kind of goes hand in hand. So, but as far as this goes, right, so first step, remember your markers, yes, is when they are going to get the reward when they're doing the thing that you're asking, right? And you'll see me use the word good when I like what they're doing and I want them to keep doing that. But yes will mean there's a reward coming, right? Food is coming. Skylar, sit. Nope, come on, sit. She wants to do tricks. Skylar, come on. Obviously, Skylar does not have a problem with leashes, but I have to use a dog in order to demonstrate. Okay, so I'm going to show her the leash. Leash. Yes. So I'm going to use the word. So if it was a dog collar or just a leash or just your hand, right? I could even be going like this. Yes. Right? Just getting her used to my hand movements. These are all things, depending on what you're dealing with, but we're going to talk specifically about a leash. This is the way you go about it. Leash. Yes. She's touching it, because that's another trick she does. Okay, where am I? So you're going to do that over and over and over again, just getting her to sniff or just accept the leash near her head, not necessarily going over. The next step is going to be looping it and getting as close as you can without the dog freaking out or backing up. Yes. If the dog backs up, you have your other leash to hold, right? So you should be holding this, and I don't want them backing away too far, so you can pull them in, and as soon as the dog releases the tension on the leash and they're up where you need them, you can release, right, the leash a little bit, and then reward again, and make sure you use your marker saying yes. So tension on the leash, right, they're backing away, they come into your space, yes, good girl, right? Okay, so then you can do this again. Obviously, she's very food-driven. You may not have such a food-driven dog if you're dealing with fear at the same time, but you never know. Nope. Leash. Right, so let's say you only get it right there. That's okay, yes. So you get as much as you can, just step by step. It can be a really slow process. You may not even get the leash all the way on in one session. That's okay. You just come back later on and you do it again. And you may have to start from the very beginning at each session, okay? So, leash. And eventually you're going to be here, right? Good, yes. And you can leave it there. That would be like, say, a third or fourth phase into it, right? Then you're also going to need to be able to get the leash off. So same thing. right? You may have to come over here and go and just touch it. Yes, good girl. Just get them used to touching the leash, maybe just part of it. Leash. Good. Yes. Taking it off is going to require some rewards. It really is, nope, out. Stolen. Sit. It really is just a lot of small phases, a lot of small steps, and it will require a lot of patience. This may take you even 30 minutes. I know I said 15, 20, but it may even take you longer depending on the dog. So every time you need to leash up the dog, you're going to need to do this. But let's say, you're in a scenario where you don't need to leash up your dog. This still needs to be an exercise you do every day for quite some time, maybe for a week or so until the dog gets really comfortable with it. So all their meals should be fed just doing this. And take your time, be slow about it. Like I said, use a backup leash where you just kind of slyly put it on when you're getting the dog without putting yourself in harm's way. That way, if you do have a bite risk dog, you can simply pull the dog away from you or pull them upwards if they go in for any biting, okay? So definitely with a biting dog, you're also going to want to do muzzle conditioning, which we have another video for, so feel free to check that out. But hopefully this was helpful. So just phase, right? Always use your markers with yes. So you show them the leash, yes, good, right? Yes, give them the food. Slowly put it around their head, even moving the leash around their head, just so they get used to that movement around their head. And you can mark for that as well, yes, and you give your reward, okay? Putting it on, touching the head, yes, give reward. Putting it all the way on, yes, reward, okay? Taking it off, yes, reward. All the same things, right? It's pretty basic when you really think about it, but like I said, it just takes a while. So I hope that this video is helpful to helping you help the dog gain some confidence with such a simple thing as a leash or a collar. And that way you can handle your dog a lot more and go on some walks and be able to do your day-to-day things with your dog. So anyways, hope that was helpful, you guys. See you soon.